Welcome back to the channel, guys. As always, thanks so much for being here, clicking on this video and joining me as we dive back into the Wizarding World. So, in this video, we're going to be talking about an important aspect of the upcoming Harry Potter HBO series. We're going to be talking about the budget of this series. And this article dives into how much it's going to be costing per episode, per season, and for the entire 10-year plan. And these numbers are absolutely mind-boggling. It's crazy how much money they're spending on this show. But do bear in mind, guys, just because they're spending a lot of money, that doesn't automatically mean that this show is going to be good, just because they're spending a lot of money. I mean, it all comes down to the writing, you know, and all that kind of stuff. I'm not saying the show's going to be bad, don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying, just because they're spending a lot of money, it doesn't automatically mean that it's going to be good. I'm sure it will be good, but again, money doesn't equal that the show's going to be good. But still, the budget is mind-boggling. Let's dive in and let's see exactly how much they're spending, because trust me, guys, you're going to want to see this. It's insane. Okay, this comes to us from theparkplace.com. HBO Harry Potter series alleged to cost between 2 to 8 billion by the Daily Mail. 2 to 8 billion. When you figure a large Hollywood movie can be anywhere from sort of $70 million, anywhere up to sort of 250 million on the high end for a big Hollywood movie, and they're saying that they could spend upwards of 8 billion on this entire show. It's just mind-boggling. That's crazy. Okay, so here's the details anyway. So the upcoming Harry Potter television series from HBO could be one of the most expensive shows in television history, with reports by the Daily Mail of an astronomical budget. I believe the most expensive show ever made at the moment, I think it's Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power, you know, the Amazon show. I believe that's the most expensive show ever made, if not one of the most expensive shows ever made. In fact, let me just bring up a chart quickly, and we'll quickly take a look at the top sort of 5 most expensive shows ever made. So guys, just to go off on a slight tangent quickly, but I think this is important to the story of what we're talking about, because it's going to put the budget of the Harry Potter show into perspective if we look at budgets to other expensive TV shows. So quickly, we're just going to quickly take a look at the top 10 most expensive shows. I'm just going to quickly go through it. So I went over to Grok, you know, the large language model that's over on the Twitter platform. I said list the top 10 most expensive TV shows ever made. We'll quickly just browse through this, and then we can compare it to the rumored budget of 2 to 8 billion for the Harry Potter show. So the top 10 total estimated production costs. So yeah, I was correct. So Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power is the most expensive show ever made, and that cost 1 billion. Season 1 alone was 465 to 500 million plus. Stranger Things, 870 to 950 million. Andor was 650 million. The Crown, 648 million. Game of Thrones, 630. C on Apple TV, 360. The Mandalorian, 360 as well. House of Dragon, that was 360 million. The Boys, 352 million. And then Citadel, Amazon Prime at 300 million. So, I mean, just looking at the top most expensive show, Amazon's Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power, that sits at 1 billion. And we're talking about this Harry Potter show is anywhere from 2 to 8 billion. So anywhere from 2 to 8 times the budget of what they're doing with Lord of the Rings on Amazon. That's just mind-boggling that it could be 8 times as expensive. I can't even comprehend that. But anyway, guys, so that's the top 10 most expensive shows. Let's go over and get back into our story here. So, according to the Daily Mail, each episode of the series is expected to cost a staggering £75 million. Again, you can make a big budget Hollywood movie with that, right? Godzilla Minus One. For those of you who have seen Godzilla Minus One, that movie was made on a budget of $15 million. $15 million for Godzilla Minus One. And they're saying that one episode of this Harry Potter show is going to be $100 million. $100 million for one episode. It's just crazy. I literally can't believe these figures. However, this figure contradicts earlier reporting by the outlet. So there are some, you know, speculation. There is a bit of speculation about this, guys. So, you know, they're not concrete numbers, but if they are true, then again, it's absolutely insane. So, with an estimated 8 episodes per season planned over 7 seasons, 1 per each novel, that puts the total production budget at approximately $4.2 billion. Yeah, 8 episodes per season, but when we get into those later seasons, you know, the bigger books, they're probably going to have more episodes, or they could potentially split those books into multiple seasons. They have a 10-year plan, so that tells me that they could be splitting some of those later books into multiple seasons or having more episodes. We'll have to see, you know, which direction are they going to go. You know, with Deathly Hallows, are they going to split it into 2 seasons? Or are they just going to make more episodes? We'll have to see how that works. But either way, that increases the budget. So, total production budget of $4.2 billion or $5.4 billion US dollars at the current exchange rates. However, previous Daily Mail reporting alleged a full 10 seasons of the show, which at least reported budget would put cost around $8 billion, or 8 times the amount that they spent on season 1 of Amazon's Lord of the Rings, which is the most expensive show at the moment. 8 times that season 1 cost. But then again, we're not just talking about season 1 of Harry Potter, we're talking about the entire 10-year plan. But still, it's just insane, these figures. So, from Brett Dasovic, HBO is going to spend $75 million an episode on Harry Potter for streaming. If you do 7 seasons, 8 episodes per season, $600 million per season. Roughly $4.2 billion total just to dump it on HBO Max. Yeah, I mean, it's insane, isn't it? Do you know what? I've always said this, right? I would love to know what you guys think about this. This show is going to be so big. Why do they not lump, you know, several episodes together? So you could have 3 or 4 episodes, lump them together, and then release them in cinemas. You know, you could go watch episode 1, 2, 3, and 4. If each of them is sort of 45 minutes to an hour long, I mean, that gives you anywhere from sort of like 2.5 to sort of like 4 hours, however long the episodes are going to be. A lot of people say an hour, but I think it's going to be anywhere from sort of 45 minutes to an hour, roughly around about that. That's what we get for big streaming shows at the moment. But say for instance you want to watch 2 episodes, lump them together, and then release them in the cinemas. Could you imagine how much money, you know, Warner Brothers would make by releasing this series? You know, multiple episodes into the cinema. I would go to the cinema to watch this with other Harry Potter fans. Who the hell wouldn't? And it would make so much money at the cinema. So not only would they have it on streaming, they would have it at the cinema as well. That's another form of revenue. I mean, it makes sense. It's a cinematic experience. This is something that should be experienced on the big screen. And yeah, I mean, that's the only downside to having it streaming, is that we can't watch it in the cinema. But I'm hoping that they do cinema runs of this, but I would love to know what you guys think. Would you go to the cinema to watch episodes of Harry Potter? Would love to know your thoughts on that. Okay, so if true, this would place Harry Potter firmly in the upper echelon of the most expensive TV productions ever made. Kind of like we just looked at that top 10 list just a minute ago. It would even exceed Amazon's Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power, which reportedly cost around $465 million for its first season, though the total franchise cost, including the rights acquisition, pushed The Rings of Power overall bill north of $1 billion. Yeah, so when it comes to, just to go off on a tangent, when it comes to The Rings of Power, I'm not sure if you guys have watched it. The first season was so-so. The second season was a major upgrade from the first season. Do go and watch the second season if you haven't seen it. But yeah, so they spent $500 million to make Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power Season 1. But then they had to spend another $500 million to get the rights from the Tolkien estate to make it. So it cost them $1 billion for that first season. So that putting it at the most expensive show of all time. Okay, but that's big if. Conflicting reports on the budget and series length. So, according to a February 2024 report from the Daily Mail, Warner Bros. Discovery initially planned for 10 consecutive seasons of Harry Potter with a budget of approximately $200 million per season. At the estimate, the full production would cost around $2 billion US dollars, putting it on par with HBO's other high budget offerings like House of the Dragon. So it says here, with every single episode of the much anticipated production expected to cost around a staggering £75 million, landing a lead role in the series has been described as winning the lottery. I mean, being in a Harry Potter show, I mean, that literally is winning the lottery. Like, you're going to make a lot of money from that. So yeah, I mean, it is winning the lottery in several different ways. However, a new report from the Daily Mail in May 2025 presents a drastically different figure. The latest estimate claims the series will cost £75 million per episode, equivalent to roughly $101 million at the current exchange rates. If the show follows an 8-episode season model, that would mean over $800 million per season. And again, bear in mind, as we get into those later seasons, they're going to increase the episode count because the books are probably bigger. So we could have, 10 episodes, we could have 12 episodes. They could split the books into multiple seasons again, so that's going to push the budget up even higher. A full $8 billion over 10 seasons, far exceeding the earlier projection. So it's important to note that while the Daily Mail reported that the series would span 10 seasons, other sources, including statements from Warner Bros. Discovery executives, have only indicated a plan for a decade-long production without specifying the exact number of seasons. Yeah, I mean, again, trying to have an educated guess that they're going to split some of these books into multiple seasons is going to give them more content, more seasons, more ad revenue, and it's going to draw the content out for longer, so it makes sense that they would do that, the same way they did it with Deathly Hallows Part 1 and 2, with the movies. They make more money, they have more content, it makes a lot of sense to me. So instead of just upping the episode count, you would just split it into 2 seasons. That makes more sense to me than upping the episode count, personally, but who knows? Again, we don't really have any information on what they're doing in terms of the structure of the seasons at the moment, until they kind of release that information. So, with no official season count confirmed by HBO, the total budget remains speculative, but even at 7 seasons, the overall cost could rise beyond $5.4 billion, making Harry Potter the most expensive television series ever produced in terms of total expenditure. As of writing, Warner Bros. Discovery has not addressed the discrepancy between the 2 budget reports, nor clarified final series structure. So, even if we're looking on the low end of this estimate at around $2 billion, it's still going to be one of the most, if not the most expensive show of all time. But on the high end, at the $8 billion estimate, that is just insane. Like, it's just unbelievable how much they're spending on this show. But I mean, from everything we've seen, the trailers, the pictures, everything, all of the details and everything that's going into this show does look really well made. And for the amount of money they're spending on it, I mean, the attention is there. I mean, it looks good. But again, just because you're spending a lot of money on something doesn't automatically mean it's going to be great. I think it will be great, but not because they're spending a lot of money, because I think of all the details and the craft and the art and the writing and all that. So again, you can throw a lot of money at something. I mean, look at how many $250 million movies there are in Hollywood that have flopped, because you can throw all the money at something you want. It doesn't automatically mean it's good. Anyway, so high cost, divided audience. So the potential scale of investment from either report, if the Daily Mail is to be believed, suggests Warner Bros. Discovery is betting heavily on Harry Potter franchise to become a flagship offering for HBO and the streaming platform HBO Max. However, the project faces considerable headwinds before cameras even roll. I mean, the thing is as well, you have to remember, right? If this show is amazing, not only is it going to generate a lot of money in terms of ad revenue, in terms of DVD and Blu-ray sales, if they bring it out on DVD and Blu-ray, it's gonna increase theme park ticket sales. It's gonna increase merchandising sales. And you think of all the new merchandise lines they're gonna be bringing out. They're gonna be bringing out new Harry Potter Lego, new Christmas toys, new Hogwarts robes. You think of the amount of merchandise they're gonna sell, theme park tickets. It's just going to increase everything across the board, because the hype for Harry Potter is going to be at an all-time high. And it doesn't just make money for the series, it makes money for everything orbiting the series. The merch, the tickets, everything, Broadway, theme parks, merchandise, everything is going to be elevated in terms of sales, because it's going to be on everyone's mind. Okay, casting decisions. I'm not going to go into casting decisions. J.K. Rowling backlash as well. We know all that. The Paparazzi casting as Snape. J.K. Rowling and the trans debate. We know all that, so I'm not going to go into all that, guys. We've talked about that before. I'm sure you guys are aware of J.K. Rowling controversy and the controversy with Paparazzi and Snape, so I'm just going to skip across that bit for now. Is profitability possible? So, with projected costs between 2 to 8 billion for the entire run, the Harry Potter series will require exceptional subscriber growth, merchandising revenue, and global licensing deals. Remember, even though this is exclusive to HBO Max, once it's finished its run, they're going to be able to license this show to other streaming platforms, which they're going to be making money out of. So they're going to be licensing this show all over the place. And again, if they decide to put this out in cinemas, it could make a lot of money at the box office as well. But will they do that? They probably won't, because they want it to be exclusive to HBO Max. They want to drive subscribers. So if you've got it in cinema, you know, if people go and watch it in the cinema, it's going to stop them from signing up to HBO Max. That's the only downfall, you know, that I can see for not having it in cinemas. They want everyone to go to HBO Max. So the merchandising revenue and global licensing deals to become profitable. Warner Bros. Discovery has not yet disclosed specific monetization strategies or advertising models for the series. Yeah, that would be kind of classified stuff. So filming is scheduled to begin this summer. We know all that, and that's kind of where we are, guys. So on the low estimate, 2 billion. On the high estimate, 8 billion. I mean, 75 million pounds per episode, or 100 million US dollars per episode. That figure is ridiculous. Again, when you think of a high-budget Hollywood movie that can be anywhere from 70 to 200 million dollars, and they're spending 100 million on every episode, you know, if this is to be believed. But it's just ridiculous, guys. So what do you think about this? I mean, do you think they're spending too much money? Are they not spending enough? What do you think about these figures? And like me, do you agree with the fact that just because they're throwing all this money at the show, it doesn't automatically mean it's going to be good? Again, I will specify, I do think it's going to be good, but not because they're spending that amount of money. I think it's going to be good because of the writing and the team of people they've got working on the show, not because of the money they're spending. Although the money does help. But guys, jump down in the comment section, leave your thoughts, your comments, your theories, your opinions, and all that stuff about what you think about the budget that they're spending here. Is it just beyond ridiculous? Can they be profitable? Can they recoup the money on the series? Or, you know, is it doomed to kind of not be profitable? I mean, I would love to know your thoughts. So, like I say, leave them down below. Thanks so much for being here. Do hit the like button, become a subscriber, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any future Harry Potter content coming to the channel. And with all that good stuff, I will see you guys in the very next video.